floor is cold. That's the first thing Nylae notices when her body hits the polished tile. Not the pain in her hip, not the gasps from strangers, just how cold the mall floor feels against her palms. She doesn't move right away. Around her, the Northern California Mall hums with weekend chaos. Holiday music drifts from overhead speakers. Children laugh somewhere near the food court. A woman's heels click past without stopping. Nylae's paper shopping bag skids 3 feet away. The contents don't spill. She made sure to fold the top carefully before leaving the store. Her coat is old but clean. Her jeans have a small tear near the knee that she covered with a careful stitch last month. She's wearing sneakers that used to be white. She looks up slowly. Kareem Holt stands over her, chest rising and falling like he just finished a workout. His designer sneakers are spotless. His chain catches the fluorescent light. His jaw is tight with something that looks like satisfaction. "Still acting too good to respond," he says, loud enough for the crowd to hear. "Before you jump to conclusions, let me tell you something. Sometimes the most dangerous moments in life don't announce themselves with sirens or warnings. They happen in bright places, in front of witnesses, while Christmas songs play in the background. And the worst part? Most people will watch, film it, post it, but very few will step in." Nylae presses her palms flat against the tile. Her chest tightens, but not from fear, from recognition. She's been here before. Not this mall, not this floor, but this feeling. The one where a man decides your value in public and dares you to defend it. 3 minutes ago, she was standing outside a shoe store, minding her business, holding a single bag with a pair of work flats she saved 2 months to buy. That's when she heard her name. "Nylae?" She turned, and there he was. Kareem looked different, sharper, more polished, like time had been kind in a way it hadn't been to her. His eyes moved over her slowly, taking inventory, her coat, her shoes, the bag in her hand. Then he smiled. Not the kind of smile you give someone you used to love and the kind you give someone you've already written off. "Wow," he said, stepping closer. "This is really where you ended up?" She didn't answer. She learned a long time ago that silence protects you better than explanations. But Kareem doesn't like silence. "You really thought you were going to do better without me, huh?" His voice carried. A few shoppers slowed down, heads turned, phones angled just slightly. Nylae tried to walk away. That's when he grabbed her arm. "Don't walk away from me," he said. "Quieter now. Meaner." She pulled free. "I'm not doing this with you." His face changed. Something shifted behind his eyes, something ugly and familiar. "You always thought you were too good," he said. "Look at you now, broke, alone, pathetic." She turned to leave again. And that's when he kicked her, not a shove, not an accident. A deliberate kick to the back of her leg that sent her crashing forward. The sound her body makes when it hits the ground cuts through the noise like a gunshot. For a moment, everything stops. A teenage girl near the pretzel stand covers her mouth. An older man pulls out his phone but doesn't call anyone. A mother steers her child toward another aisle. Security is somewhere. They always are, but they don't rush, not yet. Kareem looks around, daring someone to say something. His chest is still heaving, his fists are clenched. But his face looks almost calm. Like he's done this before. Nylae stays down. Not because she's hurt, not because she's scared, but because something in her head just clicked. She remembers a voice years ago, a woman who used to work the late shift at the diner where Nylae waitress told her something. Baby, the woman said, one day somebody gonna disrespect you in front of the wrong people, and when that happens, you won't have to do nothing. Life will handle it. Nylae didn't believe her then. She might now. Because something in the air just changed. The mall feels different, quieter, like someone turned the volume down on everything except the sound of her breathing. She lifts her head. Across the corridor, a man has stopped walking. He's standing completely still, watching. Kareem doesn't notice him. Security finally starts moving, but they're not looking at Nylae. They're looking past her. Nylae pushes herself up onto her hands. Her palms sting. Her knee throbs, but she's steady. Kareem is still talking, still justifying, still loud. You should have stayed where you belong, he says. I did you a favor leaving you. She doesn't respond, because now she sees it too. The man across the mall isn't just watching anymore. He's walking toward them. And when he moves, people step aside. Not quickly, not obviously, but they move. Like they know. Where are you watching from? Drop your city in the comments. The mall is too quiet now. Nylae notices it before anyone else does. The music is still playing, people are still shopping, but something in the atmosphere has shifted, like the air pressure dropped right before a storm. She's still on the ground, palms flat, knees bent, head up. Kareem is still talking. You really thought someone was going to save you? He laughs. It's sharp and bitter. Nobody cares about you, Nylae. That's why you're alone. A security guard finally reaches them. Young guy, maybe mid-20s. He looks at Nylae first, then at Kareem. Sir, the guard says, his voice is uncertain. I'm going to need you to step back. Kareem turns toward him slowly. Step back? She's the one causing a scene. Sir, we have cameras. I saw what happened. Kareem's jaw tightens, but he doesn't move. He's calculating, deciding if this is worth the energy. This is ridiculous, he mutters. But he takes a half step back. The guard offers Nylae his hand. She doesn't take it. She stands on her own. Her legs are steadier than she expected. Her breathing is calm. Her face is unreadable. Kareem watches her rise with something close to disgust. Still playing tough. She brushes off her coat, adjusts the collar, picks up her shopping bag. She doesn't look at him. That makes him angrier. You know what? Kareem steps forward again. The guard tenses. You were always useless. That's why I left. You had nothing. You still have nothing. Nylae's hand tightens around the bag, but her face doesn't change. The guard steps between them. Sir, I'm not asking again. Kareem raises his hands in mock surrender. Relax. I'm just talking. But his eyes are locked on Nylae, waiting for her to break, to cry, to yell, to give him the reaction he's been fishing for. She gives him nothing. And that silence is louder than anything she could say. Another guard appears, older, calmer. He's not looking at Nylae or Kareem. He's looking toward the entrance. The first guard notices, follows his gaze. Kareem doesn't. He's too busy staring at Nylae. You really think you're better than me now? She finally meets his eyes. Her voice is quiet, steady. I never thought I was better than you, Kareem. He leans closer. Then why'd you walk away? Because staying would have killed me. The words land soft, but they hit deep. Kareem's face hardens. He opens his mouth to respond. And that's when the presence arrives. Not loud, not dramatic, but undeniable. The man Nylae saw earlier is closer now. Much closer. He's maybe 10 feet away, moving with the kind of calm that makes people nervous without knowing why. He's dressed simply. Dark coat, dark pants, nothing flashy. But the way he carries himself makes everything else in the mall look cheaper. The older security guard straightens immediately. His hand goes to his radio, but he doesn't speak into it. The younger guard notices the shift. His body language changes, less protective of Nylae, more alert, more uncertain. Kareem still hasn't turned around. "You don't get to act like the victim," he's saying. "You were the problem. You were always the problem." The man stops walking. He's standing behind Kareem now, close enough to hear everything, close enough to touch him. But he doesn't. He looks at Nylae instead. His eyes are dark, calm, assessing. She recognizes the expression. It's the same one she's seen 100 times before. In the morning when she wakes up, at night when he thinks she's asleep. It's the look of someone deciding how much damage to allow. And in this moment, she knows exactly what he's thinking. Kareem finally senses something is wrong. He glances over his shoulder. The man doesn't move. Kareem turns back to Nylae, laughing nervously. "Who's this? Your new boyfriend?" The man doesn't answer. Nylae doesn't either. The silence stretches. And in that silence, Kareem realizes something. The guards aren't looking at him anymore. They're looking at the man behind him with respect. Kareem's confidence cracks, just slightly, just enough. He shifts his weight, glances at the man again, then back at Nylae. His smile is forced now, defensive. "So what?" Kareem says. "You got some guy to come save you? That's supposed to impress me?" The man still doesn't speak. But the air around them feels heavier now, like gravity just increased by a fraction. Kareem's voice gets louder, compensating. "I don't care who you brought. This doesn't change anything." A small crowd is formed. Not close, but watching. Phones out, recording. One woman whispers to her friend, "Is that him?" The friend shakes her head. I don't know. Maybe." Kareem hears the whispers. He doesn't understand them, but he feels them. His hands flex, his jaw tightens. Inside his head, he's running through a script he's told himself 1,000 times. The one where leaving Nylae was the smartest move he ever made, where she was holding him back, where his life got better the moment she was gone. He's believed that story for years. And right now, he needs it to be true more than ever. Because if it's not true, then what does that make him? "You think you upgraded?" Kareem says, gesturing toward the man behind him. "You think this is gonna erase what you were?" Nylae's expression doesn't change, but something in her eyes shifts. Not anger, not sadness, something colder. "I don't think about you at all anymore, Kareem." The words are simple, quiet, devastating. His face flushes. "That's a lie." "No," she says, "it's not." Kareem looks around at the guards, at the crowd, at the man who still hasn't moved. He laughs again, but this time it sounds hollow. "You know what? I don't have time for this." He starts to walk away. The older guard steps into his path. "Sir," the guard says, "you're going to need to wait here." Kareem stops. "Wait for what?" "Security needs to review the footage." "Footage?" Kareem's voice rises. "For what?" "Assault." The word hangs in the air like smoke. Kareem's face goes pale, then red. "Assault? I didn't assault anyone." The younger guard gestures toward Nylae. "You kicked her, sir. We have it on camera." "I didn't." Kareem stops himself. His brain is catching up now, replaying the last 5 minutes, realizing how bad it looks. He points at Nylae. "She's fine. Look at her. She's standing." The older guard doesn't argue. He just repeats himself. "You need to wait here." Kareem's eyes dart around, looking for an exit, an excuse, anything. That's when he notices the shift in the crowd. People aren't just watching anymore. They're recognizing something. A woman near the back pulls her friend closer, whispers something urgent. A man near the escalator takes a picture, not of Kareem, of the man standing behind him. Kareem turns fully now, facing the man for the first time. "Who are you?" he demands. The man doesn't answer immediately. He looks at Nylae. His expression softens, just barely, just enough. Then he steps past Kareem entirely, like he's not even there. He walks directly to Nylae, stops in front of her. Close, but not crowding. "Are you hurt?" His voice is quiet, controlled, accent faint but present. Nylae shakes her head. "I'm okay." He reaches up slowly, deliberately, and takes off his coat. The movement is careful, respectful. He drapes it over her shoulders without touching her directly. "You're cold," he says. She is. She didn't realize it until now, but the warmth of the coat settled over her like relief. Kareem watches this exchange with growing confusion. "Wait, you two know each other?" The man finally looks at him. And in that look, Kareem sees something he doesn't recognize. Not anger, not aggression, just certainty. The kind of certainty that comes from never having to prove yourself. "You should leave," the man says. His voice is even, almost polite. Kareem laughs. It sounds desperate now. "Who do you think you are?" The man doesn't answer, but the older security guard does. "Sir," he says to Kareem. His tone has changed, more formal now. "You need to come with her." Kareem's panic is visible now. "For what? I told you I didn't do anything." "Multiple witnesses saw you assault this woman. You're being detained until police arrive." "Police?" Kareem's voice cracks. "This is insane. She's lying." "I haven't said anything," Nylae says quietly. "And that's the problem. She hasn't had to." The mall feels different now. Not louder, not quieter, just tighter, like the walls moved closer without anyone noticing. Kareem is still arguing, still gesturing, still trying to convince anyone who will listen that this is all a misunderstanding. But no one is listening. The gods are watching the man now, waiting for a signal that never comes. The crowd has grown. More phones, more whispers. Someone near the back says a name quietly, but it spreads. Kareem hears it. He doesn't understand it, but he hears it. His confidence is gone now, completely, replaced by something raw and ugly. Fear dressed up as anger. "This is ridiculous," he says again, louder. "I'm leaving." He tries to push past the younger guard. The guard doesn't stop him physically. He just steps to the side, blocking the path with his body. "Sir, you can't leave." "Oh, watch me." Kareem takes one step forward, and then he stops. Because now there are more guards. 3, then 4. They didn't rush, they didn't shout, they just appeared, like they were always there, waiting. And they're all positioned between Kareem and the exit. His breathing quickens, his eyes dart. He's looking for something, an explanation, a way out, anything. He looks at Nylae. She's standing a few feet away now, wrapped in the man's coat. Her face is calm, too calm. "Who is he?" Kareem asks. His voice is quieter now, almost pleading. Nylae doesn't answer. The man doesn't either. Kareem's hands start shaking. He shoves them in his pockets, trying to hide it. A manager appears, middle-aged, balding, nervous. He approaches the older guard first. They speak in low voices. The manager glances at the man, then at Nylae, then at Kareem. His expression changes from confusion to understanding to something close to fear. He nods quickly, turns to Kareem. Sir, we're going to need you to come with us to the security office. I'm not going anywhere, Kareem snaps. The manager doesn't argue. He just gestures to the guards. They move closer, not threatening, not aggressive, just inevitable. Kareem backs up. His shoulder hits a display rack. Sunglasses clatter to the floor. He doesn't pick them up. This is illegal, he says. His voice is shaking now. You can't hold me. We're not holding you, the manager says. We're asking you to cooperate while we review security footage. And I don't have to cooperate with anything. Then we'll call the police, and you can cooperate with them. Kareem's face twists. He looks around wildly, at the crowd, at the guards, at Nylae. His eyes land on her again, and this time she looks back. Not with anger, not with fear, just tired recognition. You really don't remember, do you? She says. Kareem freezes. Remember what? What you did to me. The words are soft, but they cut through everything. Kareem's mouth opens, closes, opens again. I didn't do anything to you, he says, but his voice cracks. You left me homeless, Kareem. The mall goes silent. Even the music seems quieter now. Kareem shakes his head. That's not. You told me to leave. You changed your locks. You blocked my number. I had nowhere to go. That's not my fault. I slept in my car for 3 months. Kareem flinches. You're lying. I worked 3 jobs just to eat. Stop. You told people I was crazy, that I was obsessed, that leaving me was the best thing you ever did. Kareem's breathing is ragged now. His hands are out of his pockets, clenched into fists, not in threat, in desperation. You don't get to do this, he says. You don't get to make me the villain. Nylae's voice stays calm. I'm not making you anything, I'm just telling the truth. And then the man speaks. His voice is quiet, but it carries. She doesn't need to make you anything, he says. You already showed everyone who you are. Kareem turns toward him. Stay out of this. The man doesn't move, doesn't blink. This doesn't concern you, Kareem insists. It does now. And in those 3 words, everything changes. Nylae feels the weight shift, not physically but emotionally, like a scale finally balancing after years of being tilted. The man steps closer to her, not protectively, not possessively, just present. He doesn't touch her, doesn't speak to her, just stands beside her in a way that says everything without saying anything. Kareem's face goes through a series of expressions: confusion, realization, disbelief. Wait, he says slowly. You two? You're together? Nylae doesn't answer immediately. The man does. She's my wife. The word lands like a bomb. Kareem's mouth falls open. He looks at Nylae, then at the man, then back at Nylae. Wife? His voice is barely a whisper. Nylae nods once. Kareem stumbles back a step, like the information physically pushed him. You're married? He says it like he's testing the words, like they don't make sense in his mouth. Yes. To him? Yes. Kareem's face goes red, then pale, then red again. Since when? 2 years. The timeline crashes into him. He does the math, realizes what that means. She moved on. She rebuilt. She found someone. While he was laughing about how he ruined her. That's impossible, he says. You were nobody. You had nothing. The man's expression doesn't change, but something in his eyes sharpens. She had everything. he says quietly. You just couldn't see it. Kareem shakes his head, laughing, but it sounds broken. No, no, this doesn't make sense. Who even are you? The man doesn't answer, but someone in the crowd does. That's Han-Joon Park, a voice says. The name spreads through the crowd like wildfire. Kareem hears it, processes it, his face goes slack. Park? He repeats, like the Park family? The man, Han-Joon, doesn't confirm or deny. He doesn't need to. The guards already know. The manager already knows, and now Kareem knows. His legs almost give out. Because if the stories are true, if even half the rumors are accurate, then Kareem just assaulted the wife of one of the most dangerous men in the region. In public. On camera. In front of witnesses. His hands start shaking again, worse this time. I didn't know, he says quickly. I didn't know she was. It wouldn't have mattered, Han-Joon says. His voice is still calm, still controlled. You shouldn't have touched her regardless. Kareem's breath comes fast now, shallow, panicked. I didn't mean to. You meant to, Nylae says. You've always meant to. Han-Joon's hand moves slowly. He reaches for Nylae's. She takes it without hesitation. Their fingers intertwine. Steady, certain. Kareem watches this, watches the way she leans slightly toward Han-Joon, watches the way Han-Joon's thumb brushes over her knuckles. Gentle, protective. And something in Kareem breaks. This isn't fair, he whispers. Nylae tilts her head. What isn't fair? You. You were supposed to stay broken. The honesty is ugly, raw. Nylae doesn't flinch. I was never broken, Kareem. I was just done. Behind them, the police arrive. 2 officers, both calm, both professional. The older guard approaches them, explains the situation, points to the cameras, gestures toward Kareem. One officer nods, approaches Kareem directly. Sir, we need to ask you some questions. Kareem doesn't move. He's still staring at Nylae and Han-Joon, still trying to process. Sir, the officer repeats. Kareem finally looks at him. His eyes are wet, his face is pale. I didn't mean to hurt her, he says. You kicked her, sir. I wasn't thinking. We're going to need you to come with us. Kareem's voice rises. Wait, can't she just say it's fine? Can't she tell them it was a mistake? The officer looks at Nylae. She meets Kareem's eyes one last time. No, she says simply. And with that single word, Kareem's world collapses completely. Chapter 6. The handcuffs click shut around Kareem's wrists. The sound is metallic final. It echoes through the corridor louder than it should. Kareem's hands are behind his back now, his shoulders slump forward. His head hangs low. He's not fighting anymore, not arguing, just breathing hard through his nose like a cornered animal. One officer reads him his rights. The other one checks the cuffs, making sure they're secure but not too tight. Do you understand these rights as I've explained them to you? The first officer asks. Kareem nods, barely. I need a verbal response, sir. Yes, Kareem whispers. I understand. The crowd has grown bigger now, at least 30 people, maybe more. Phones pointed, flashes going off. Someone's recording a live stream. Nylae stands a few feet away. Han-Joon's coat still draped over her shoulders, his hand still holding hers. The officer looks at her. Ma'am, we'll need a statement from you. She nods. I can do that. Are you injured? Do you need medical attention? No, I'm okay. The officer writes something down. We'll have someone reach out to you within the next few hours. You can come to the station, or we can take your statement here. I'll come to the station, she says. Kareem lifts his head suddenly. His eyes lock onto hers, red-rimmed, desperate. Nylae, he says. His voice cracks. Please, just tell them it was an accident. She doesn't respond. I'm sorry, he says louder. I'm sorry, okay? I didn't mean it. I was just angry. I wasn't thinking. Nylae's grip on Han-Joon's hand tightens, but her face stays calm, unmoved. You were thinking, she says quietly. You've always been thinking. Kareem shakes his head violently. No, you don't understand. I was just upset. Seeing you brought back all these feelings, and you wanted to hurt me, she finishes. Like you always did. The words hang heavy in the air. Kareem's mouth opens, closes, opens again. That's not true. You left me with nothing, Kareem. No money, no place to go, no way to contact you. You made sure I couldn't reach you. You told people I was crazy. You laughed about it. Her voice doesn't rise, doesn't waver. She's not yelling, not crying, just stating facts. And somehow that makes it worse. Kareem's breathing gets faster. His chest heaves. I didn't know it would be that bad for you. Yes, you did. I thought you had family. I thought you'd figure it out. I didn't have anyone. You knew that. That's why you did it. Kareem's knees buckle slightly. One of the officers steadies him. I'm not a monster, he says weakly. Nylae tilts her head, studies him for a long moment. I never said you were. Then why are you doing this? I'm not doing anything. You did this to yourself. Kareem's face crumples. Tears spill over. He doesn't wipe them away. Can't. His hands are cuffed. I lost everything because of you, he says, voice breaking. My job, my apartment, my friends, everything fell apart after you left. Nylae's expression doesn't change. I didn't leave. You kicked me out. You made me. How? You were always so needy, always asking for things, always complaining. I asked you to talk to me, Nylae says. That's all I ever asked. Kareem shakes his head. You wanted more than I could give. I wanted basic respect. The officer clears his throat. Sir, we need to go. Kareem ignores him. His eyes are still locked on Nylae, pleading now. If you let this go, I'll leave you alone, I promise. I'll never bother you again. Just tell them it was a misunderstanding. Nylae looks at Han-Joon. He's been silent this whole time, just watching, listening. His face is unreadable. She looks back at Kareem. Do you know what I did after you left me? Kareem doesn't answer. I slept in my car for 3 months. I showered at the gym. I ate 1 meal a day because that's all I could afford. Kareem's face goes pale. I worked at a gas station overnight, a laundromat in the afternoon, a diner on weekends. I saved every dollar, every cent, because I knew if I didn't, I'd die out there. Her voice is still calm, still steady, but there's weight behind it now. Years of weight. I didn't have time to be angry at you. I was too busy surviving. Kareem's tears fall faster now. I'm sorry. You're not sorry for what you did. You're sorry you got caught. The officer steps forward again. Ma'am, we really need to take him now. Nylae nods, steps back. The officers guide Kareem toward the exit. He doesn't resist, just walks with his head down, shoulders shaking. As they pass through the crowd, someone spits at his feet. The officers don't stop them. Nylae watches him go. Her face is blank, empty, like she's watching a stranger. Han-Joon's thumb brushes over her knuckles again, gentle, grounding. Are you okay? He asks quietly. She exhales slowly. Yeah, I think I am. He pulls her closer. Just slightly, just enough. Let's go home, he says, Aunt. She nods. But before they leave, she looks back one more time. Kareem is at the exit now, surrounded by officers, surrounded by cameras. And for the first time in years, Nylae feels nothing when she looks at him. No anger, no pain, no regret, just relief. The video goes viral in under an hour. Someone posted it on social media with the caption, "Man attacks ex-girlfriend in mall. Instant regret." Within minutes, it's everywhere. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Reddit. The comments section explodes. Who kicked someone in public? He really thought he was tough until her husband showed up. Wait, is that Han-Joon Park? Oh, he's done. He's so done. The footage is clear. Too clear. Kareem shoving Nylae, her falling, him standing over her, the kick, everything. By the time Nylae and Han-Joon reach the parking garage, the video has been viewed over 2 million times. She doesn't know yet. Her phone is in her bag, turned off. Han-Joon knows. His phone has been buzzing nonstop. Messages from his team, his lawyer, his business partners. But he ignores them all. Right now, the only thing that matters is the woman walking beside him. They reach his car. Black, sleek, expensive but not flashy. He opens the passenger door for her. Waits until she's settled before closing it gently. He walks around to the driver's side, gets in, starts the engine. For a moment, neither of them speaks. The silence is comfortable, safe. Nylae leans her head back against the seat, closes her eyes. "Thank you," she says quietly. Han-Joon glances at her. "For what?" "For coming. I'll always come." She opens her eyes, looks at him. "I didn't call you." "I know." "Then how did you—" "I always know where you are," he says simply. "I got an alert when your heart rate spiked." She looks down at her wrist, at the delicate bracelet she's been wearing for 2 years. It looks like jewelry, but it's more than that. "You were monitoring me?" "I was protecting you." She should probably be upset, but she's not. Because she knows him, knows his world, knows what protection means in his language. "Did you think I couldn't handle it?" she asks. He reaches over, takes her hand. "I know you can handle anything, but you shouldn't have to handle it alone." Her chest tightens, not from fear, from something else, something warmer. "What happens now?" she asks. Han-Joon's jaw tightens. He'll be charged, assault, battery, harassment. Depending on his record, he could face jail time. And if he doesn't? Han-Joon doesn't answer immediately. Nylae squeezes his hand. "Don't!" He looks at her. "Don't what?" "Whatever you're thinking, don't do it." His expression doesn't change, but something flickers in his eyes. "I haven't said anything." "You don't have to." He pulls out of the parking spot, drives slowly through the garage. The hum of the engine fills the silence. "He hurt you," Han-Joon says finally, "in front of everyone. He humiliated you, and he's already paying for it." "Not enough. It's enough for me." Han-Joon's hands tighten on the steering wheel. Hands tighten on the steering wheel. "He deserves worse." "Maybe," Nylae says, "but I don't need worse. I just need him gone." He's quiet for a long moment, processing, calculating. Finally, he nods. "Okay, okay. If that's what you want, then that's what we'll do." She doesn't fully believe him, but she also knows pushing will only make him more stubborn. They exit the parking garage, merge into traffic. The city moves around them, oblivious, unaware. Nylae watches the buildings pass by, watches people on sidewalks living their lives. Do you ever regret it? She asks suddenly. Han-Joon glances at her. Regret what? Marrying me. He doesn't hesitate. Never. Even with everything that comes with me, the baggage, the past, the mess. You're not a mess, he says firmly. You're the strongest person I know. She laughs softly. I don't feel strong. You survived him. You survived being homeless. You survived working 3 jobs just to eat. And you didn't become bitter. You didn't become cruel. That's strength. Her eyes sting. She blinks quickly, refusing to cry. I didn't have a choice, she says. You always have a choice. You chose to keep going. That's everything. She looks at him. Really looks at him, at the sharp lines of his face, the calm intensity in his eyes, the way he holds himself like he's always ready for a fight, but never looking for one. Why me? She asks. You could have anyone. Why did you choose me? Han-Joon pulls up to a red light, turns to face her fully. Because you're the only person who's ever looked at me and seen something worth loving. The light turns green. He drives. And Nylae realizes something. She's not just safe with him, she's home. What would you have done in Nylae's position? Let us know in the comments. The police station is quieter than Nylae expected. She sits in a small interview room, gray walls, fluorescent lights, a table, 2 chairs, a camera in the corner with a blinking red light. A detective sits across from her, middle-aged woman, tired eyes, kind face. Take your time, the detective says, whenever you're ready. Nylae nods, folds her hands on the table. She tells the story, all of it, from the moment she saw Kareem to the moment he was handcuffed. She doesn't exaggerate, doesn't downplay, just states the facts. The detective listens, takes notes, asks clarifying questions. Had he ever been violent with you before? The detective asks. Nylae hesitates. Not physically, but verbally, yes. Emotionally, yes. Can you elaborate? Nylae takes a breath. He would call me names, tell me I was worthless, that no one would ever want me, that I was lucky he even looked at me. The detective's pen pauses. How long did this go on? 2 years. And when did the relationship end? 4 years ago, he told me to leave, changed the locks, blocked me on everything. Did he give a reason? He said I was too much, too needy, that I was dragging him down. The detective writes this down. And you didn't have anywhere to go? No, my family's not around. I didn't have close friends. I had been depending on him for housing. What did you do? I lived in my car, worked multiple jobs, saved what I could. The detective looks up, her expression softens. I'm sorry that happened to you. Nylae doesn't know how to respond to kindness right now, so she just nods. Do you want to press charges? The detective asks. Yes. Are you sure? This will mean court appearances, testimonies. It can be difficult. I'm sure. The detective nods, closes her notebook. Okay. We'll move forward. You should know that the video has already gone viral. That will help the case significantly. Nylae's stomach drops. Viral! Someone posted it online. It's been shared thousands of times. Nylae's hands tighten in her lap. I didn't want that. I understand, but it works in your favor. Multiple witnesses, clear footage. He won't be able to claim it was an accident. Nylae nods slowly, trying to process. Is there anything else you want to add? The detective asks. Nylae thinks for a moment. Will he go to jail? That depends on a lot of factors. His record, the judge, the prosecution. But assault charges are serious. He'll face consequences. Good. The detective stands. Thank you for coming in. We'll be in touch. Nylae stands too, shakes her hand. Well, as she leaves the interview room, she sees him, Kareem. He's sitting in a holding cell at the end of the hallway, visible through a small window. He's not alone. There are two other men in the cell with him. They're ignoring him, but he's sitting in the corner, knees pulled up, head down. He looks small. Nylae stops walking, just for a moment. He doesn't see her, doesn't know she's there, and she realizes something. He's already broken, but not because of the arrest, not because of the charges, but because he finally understands what he lost, and there's nothing he can do to get it back. She turns and walks away. Han-Joon is waiting for her in the lobby. He stands when he sees her, searches her face. How did it go? He asks. It's done. He nods, offers his hand. She takes it. They walk out of the station together, into the sunlight, into the noise of the city. A reporter is waiting outside, camera crew behind her. Mrs. Park, the reporter calls. Can we get a statement? Nylae freezes. Han-Joon steps in front of her. His expression is cold, dangerous. No, he says simply. The reporter backs up. Just a few questions. I said no. His tone leaves no room for argument. The reporter nods, steps aside. Han-Joon guides Nylae to the car, opens the door, waits until she's inside before closing it. He walks around, gets in. Are you okay? He asks. Yeah, she says. I just want to go home. He starts the engine, pulls out of the parking lot. As they drive away, Nylae watches the police station disappear in the side mirror, and she realizes something else. She's not the same woman who walked into that mall. She's not broken, she's not weak, she's not a victim. She's a survivor. And that's more powerful than anything Kareem ever tried to take from her. The house is quiet when they arrive. It's modern, elegant, but not cold, not empty. It feels lived in, warm. Nylae walks inside, kicks off her shoes, hangs Han-Joon's coat on the hook by the door. He follows her in, locks the door behind them, sets the alarm. She walks to the living room, sinks into the couch, lets out a long breath. Han-Joon sits beside her, close but not crowding. For a while, neither of them speaks. The silence is heavy but not uncomfortable. Finally, Nylae breaks it. I didn't think I'd ever see him again. I know. I thought I was over it. Over him. Over everything that happened. You are. She shakes her head. I froze when I saw him. I couldn't move, couldn't speak. It was like I was back there again. 4 years ago, helpless. Han-Joon reaches over, takes her hand. You weren't helpless. I felt helpless. Feeling something and being something are different. She looks at him. How do you always know what to say? I don't. I just know you. She leans into him, rests her head on his shoulder. He wraps an arm around her, holds her close. I'm proud of you, he says quietly. For what? For standing up, for pressing charges, for not letting him make you feel small. I didn't do anything. You're the one who... No, he interrupts gently. I didn't do anything. You stood up. You told your truth. That was all you. She closes her eyes, lets his words sink in. What happens now, she asks. Now you heal. I thought I already did. Healing isn't linear. You'll have good days and bad days, but you'll get through it. Will you be there? He presses a kiss to the top of her head. Ways. They sit like that for a long time, wrapped in each other, safe. Eventually, Nylae pulls back slightly, looks up at him. Can I ask you something? Anything. Why did you fall in love with me? Han-Joon's expression softens. You really want to know? Yes. He takes a moment, choosing his words carefully. Because you saw me, he says finally. Not my name, not my family, not my reputation, just me. Nylae's chest tightens. When we first met, you didn't know who I was. You treated me like I was just a person. You asked me questions. You listened to my answers. You laughed at my jokes. You didn't want anything from me. He pauses. Do you know how rare that is? She shakes her head. Everyone wants something. Money, power, protection. But you didn't. You just wanted to know me. And when you found out who I really was, you didn't change. You didn't start asking for things. You didn't treat me differently. His thumb brushes over her knuckles. You made me feel human again. Tears prick at Nylae's eyes. I didn't do anything special. That's why it mattered. She leans in, kisses him softly. He kisses her back, gentle, careful. When they pull apart, she's smiling. For the first time all day, she's genuinely smiling. I love you, she says. I love you too. They sit in the quiet, in the safety of their home, in the certainty of each other. And for the first time in years, Nylae feels like she can finally breathe. 3 months later, Nylae walks into a small community center. The room is filled with women, different ages, different backgrounds, different stories. But they all have one thing in common. They've all survived. Nylae stands at the front of the room, a microphone in her hand. She's nervous. Her palms are sweaty. Her heart is racing. But she's here, and that's what matters. Hi, she says. Her voice echoes slightly. My name is Nylae, and 4 years ago I was homeless. The room is silent, listening. I was in a relationship with someone who told me I was worthless, who made me believe I couldn't survive without him. And when he decided he was done with me, he left me with nothing. She takes a breath. I lived in my car. I worked 3 jobs. I went days without eating because I couldn't afford food and rent at the same time. A few women nod, recognizing their own stories in hers. I thought I would never recover. I thought I would always be that broken version of myself, the one who believed she deserved to be treated like garbage. She pauses, but I was wrong. Her voice gets stronger now, steadier. Surviving doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean pretending it didn't happen. It means carrying what happened and choosing not to let it define you. She looks around the room, at the faces staring back at her. You are not what happened to you. You are what you choose to become after. The room stays quiet, but she can feel the shift, the understanding. I'm not here to tell you it's easy. It's not. Some days you'll want to give up. Some days you'll feel like you're back at the beginning. But you're not. You're moving forward, even when it doesn't feel like it. She takes a final breath. And one day you'll wake up and realize the person who hurt you doesn't have power over you anymore. Not because you forgave them, not because you forgot, but because you chose yourself. The room erupts in applause. Nylae smiles, a real smile, the kind that reaches her eyes. After the session ends, women come up to her, shake her hand, hug her, thank her. One woman, younger, maybe early 20s, approaches shyly. Can I ask you something, she says. Of course. How did you stop being angry? Nylae thinks about this. I didn't stop being angry. I just stopped letting anger control me. There's a difference. The woman nods. Thank you. As Nylae leaves the community center, She sees Han-Joon waiting outside, leaning against the car. He smiles when he sees her. How did it go? Good, she says. Really good. He opens the car door for her. I'm proud of you. You always say that. Because it's always true. They drive home in comfortable silence. Nylae looks out the window, at the city passing by, at the people living their lives. And she realizes something. She's not just surviving anymore. She's living, really living. Not in spite of what happened, but because of what she chose to do after. Because here's the truth about healing. It's not about erasing the past. It's about refusing to let the past erase you. Kareem tried to break her, tried to make her believe she was nothing. But he failed. Because Nylae isn't defined by what he did to her. She's defined by what she built after. And that's everything. Some people will try to humiliate you. They'll try to make you feel small. They'll kick you when you're down and laugh while you fall. But here's what they don't understand, Rhonda. You don't need their permission to rise. You don't need their approval to heal. You don't need their acknowledgement to be worth something. You already are. And the moment you realize that, the moment you truly believe it, nothing they say or do will ever have power over you again. Because the strongest revenge isn't destruction. It's peace. It's walking away and building a life so full, so beautiful, so completely yours that the people who tried to break you become irrelevant. Not because you hate them, but because you've moved on. And that terrifies them more than anything else ever could. So, if you're watching this and you've been where Nylae was, just know this. You will survive. You will heal. And one day you'll realize the person who tried to destroy you doesn't even matter anymore. Because you chose yourself. And that changes everything. If this story inspired you, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss our next story. Drop a comment below and let us know your thoughts. Your words might be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. And remember, every story we share here is a reminder that you're not alone. Share this video with someone who needs it. Let's inspire each other to keep rising.